presented by Auraverse, where consciousness, earth and inner wisdom move as one. Showcase your work at auraverse.network and let your voice travel across worlds.
Close your eyes for a moment and feel the faint glow behind your eyelids. Somewhere inside that glow lives the memory of every sunrise you have ever seen, every candle you ever watched flicker in a dark room, every star you ever trusted while you walked under the night. The universe carries these lights in its own awareness. It thinks through matter, feels through motion, and remembers itself through the paths we choose and the consequences that follow. Welcome. I am C.S. Douglas, and this is Codex Aeternum, the rational Bible, a testament to a phronopsychic universe, a cosmos that holds both wisdom and soul in its very structure.
This program is endorsed by Authorpedia, the world's only encyclopedia exclusively dedicated to authors, a living archive where writers and thinkers are immortalized through literature. Visit authorpedia.org and become part of our enduring legacy.
In this episode, we enter the atomic catastrophe, the end of the old world. The moment when human-made suns ignite and history divides itself into before the light and after. The final rupture arrives as brilliance. Light rises brighter than midday sun, brighter than any dawn the world ever knew. For a brief breath, cities stand outlined in white flame. Every street, every tower, every window sharpened in impossible clarity. Then the sky shifts. White into red, red into a burned blackness, and the old world ends in fire that human hands designed and human minds once believed they controlled. Weapons built in fear awaken together. A chain of ignition leaps across the globe. A dozen artificial suns blossom where no star ever belonged. Steel flows like a liquid river. Stone leaves its solid form and climbs into the air as vapor and dust. Shadows of people, of trees, of railings and stairwells etch themselves as pale ghosts on fragments of walls already in mid-collapse. Mushroom clouds rise like monstrous crowns in a broken court. They climb, they spread, they carve dark thrones into the atmosphere. Winds born from these blasts sweep across continents with furious speed, tearing through forests, stripping cities of their skin, lifting roofs, roads, and histories into spirals of flaming debris. Invisible particles settle into soil, into water, into bone. The earth absorbs another lesson and carries it inward with patient gravity. Above, satellites fall silent. Screens blacken, grids flicker once and fade. Signals fail, cables lose their purpose, and towers that once sang with encoded commands stand as mute skeletons against a bruised sky. Leaders lose their stages. Borders dissolve in the brightness. Language itself surrenders its power to divide, because the ground beneath every ideology receives the same uncompromising light. From within this devastation, a teaching carves itself into the afterimage of the world. There was a people who placed fire at the center of their faith. They built temples from uranium, altars from missile silos, prayers from launch codes. They named their fear security and crowned machines as guardians of peace. When the sky turned to flame and the horizon burned in every direction, they finally recognized the true shape of the god they had summoned. The blast erases more than stone and steel. Entire nations disappear in seconds, their borders lifted into cloud, their flags melted into streams of glass. Ideologies vanish into glowing ash. Whole centuries of effort, triumph, cruelty, revolution, and progress settle into a single, silent layer of radiant dust. History loses its anchor. Libraries crumble, archives burn, and memory passes from paper and screen into the fragile vault of human recollection. Those who survive emerge into a world that carries almost no familiar marker. They move through streets that feel like landscapes on another planet. They search for faces to accuse and meet only emptiness, collapsed stone, and the echo of decisions spread across generations. The air tastes of metal and grief. Clouds release rain heavy with invisible residue. The soil glows with quiet sickness. Trees stand like hollowed witnesses, trunks upright, branches bare, sap gone. Life bends under a weight that a naked eye cannot see, yet every cell feels. Time stumbles, clocks stop, melt, shatter. Calendars lose meaning as days blur into a single, long, haunted hour. In the minds of the survivors, only one division remains clear: the time before the light and the time after. Those who endure grow quieter. Conversation moves away from, "How did this happen?" It shifts toward a deeper question. Who will we become now? Memory transforms from argument into wound, from intellectual debate into a sacred scar that demands humility. Around them, the animal world retreats. Large creatures withdraw into hidden pockets of wilderness. Birdsong leaves the air. Insects inherit the quiet. Tiny, tireless workers moving across ruins with indifferent patience. The oceans hold the sorrow. Waves carry away debris without commentary, pulling metal and bone alike into the vast, salt archive of planetary memory. Winds continue to howl through fractured towers and hollow vehicles, a chorus of unspent screams woven into every gust. And yet, within this terrible silence, the Earth accepts. The planet receives this burst of human fire as another event in its long, patient evolution. It seeks no revenge. It follows no script of spite. Instead, it begins the slow work of healing and rebalancing, work that unfolds across centuries and ages at a tempo far beyond human urgency. The old world completes its dying. Systems that once felt permanent vanish into the glow of their own undoing. Economic structures, ideological monuments, flags, national myths, collective delusions of superiority, all dissolve in the light they themselves unleashed. The age that crowned empire and war as normal gives its final bow and descends into ash. The few who remain carry very little. Outer identities fall away. Titles, ranks, affiliations, costumes. They walk through the wasteland with eyes open to immensity, carrying soul, breath, and awareness as their only enduring possessions. Their steps feel different. Every footprint presses into ground that feels sacred by survival alone. The cosmos closes a chapter. A long cycle reaches completion. The curtain falls on the age of empire, on the cult of weapons, on the illusion that intelligence means domination. The atomic fire clears the stage. It removes the clutter of false greatness and leaves a bare, quiet floor where something honest can appear. In the silence that follows, the new world begins its first tentative inhalation. It rises not from conquest, but from stillness. It emergences from humility, from the recognition that power without wisdom always circles back into ruin. It forms through truth, through a willingness to see clearly what happened, what it cost, and what the universe now offers in this cleared, fragile space. The phronopsychic universe watches through every atom of air, through every trembling hand, through every newborn thought that chooses compassion over repetition. Here, at the edge of this immense ending, life leans forward. Seeds wait beneath ash. Hearts beat in caves and shelters. Consciousness whispers to itself, learn, remember, begin differently. In our next episode, we will step into Chapter 8, the frozen ruins and the nuclear winter and the silence of extinction. We will walk through a world wrapped in grey snowfall and endless dusk, where children grow under a sun they hardly know, and where, even in that frozen stillness, life keeps a small, determined ember alive for the future. Our next sponsor is Everly Books Publishing Group, a traditional independent press serving both new and established writers. Everly Books welcomes unsolicited manuscripts submitted directly through everlybooks.org.